there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Pirate Uber Alles mod. Last time around we fought the Spanish in Italy and we also fought the pirates in the Caribbean. The pirates of the Caribbean, one might say. Since then, as I said, I was going to try and reinstate the Papal States, which I did. However, we ended up in war with them. Eventually, we never came to a clash. What happened was that I was able to, a diplomatic deal, be able to convince the Pope to go ahead and join my side as an ally, and I ended up giving them Naples. So it went pretty well for the Pope in this timeline. In our own timeline, the Pope died like yesterday or something like that. So not going as well for the Papal States in our own timeline. In this one, they control actually most of Italy, with Naples and the central part of Italy as well. So that's happened here. Also, in between episodes, I went ahead and transferred the army to the Antigua up here. It ended so that they hadn't actually built any troops here. So I was able to just take it, and the pirate fleet left port and is now here. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to fight their fleet and then land our force there. With me actually controlling the pirate stronghold. Looks like some sort of ride, what's it called? An amusement park ride of some sort. But we were able to recruit some troops out of that. American militia, which we have set up on a few islands here, or 2 islands. And then on this one, I was also able to recruit Captain Titch Sporting Team, which has really high melee attack, really high charge bonus, defense, and morale. It's expensive to recruit, 4,000. However, the upkeep is 11. I'm sure that's just to pay way for his drink. Comparatively, the melee attack of a company infantry is 6. And charge bonus is 5, and defense is 14, morale 8. So if we remember, his melee attack is 22. So that's 4 times as much as a company infantry. Plus a charge bonus is also 4 times as high. Defense is only, 8 points higher? But that's still almost, that's an increase of about 50% or so. So that has happened. Also, we're at war with the Ottomans again. So we had clashes back and forth across the border here, where they sent troops in to our side, and we fought back, and then there was straggling troops everywhere. So what I've gone ahead and done is, I already had this army right here. I've put them up in a little fort because I realized that forts actually provide a bonus to the province that they are built in. Negatives as well, but they provide a bonus to population growth once they're built up. Currently it's just a small palisade, this really tiny round one. We're going to build up it to an artillery fort, and once we do that, it'll increase the population growth by 1%. However, at this point, I've been able to advance through the agricultural things. So I've got steam pump, land drainage, which allows me to build the last iteration of the what's it called? The estates, which is actually, it goes from peasant farms, leased farms, fenced areas, large estates, and then the last one is palaces. And these one provide quite a lot. So we're building those all over the country. But we were fighting back and forth quite a bit here. and I also recruited. We've also gone ahead and in military technology been able to develop hussars, which I think we might be kind of on time in this. You can read about Peter the Great's establishment of the hussars in 1723. The Swedish army introduced hussars after fighting the Prussians, and realizing how useful light cavalry was, we introduced hussars after that. So we might be a little bit ahead of time. But so I had an hussar corps of 12 of these hussars that rode around and chased down Ottoman stragglers. What you can see though is I do not hold this region. This region is actually held by the Persians, and that's because I decided to close off the border with the Ottomans because I think they're very annoying. So instead of fighting them, I just gave it to one of their allies to keep. What I have gone ahead and done though with that territory is I've increased the Protestantism to 94%, and that is now my current plan to destabilize the Ottoman Empire. Currently, I realized that Baghdad in Mesopotamia is a really valuable province for the Ottomans, and also they have a university there. They have actually built it up to the highest level, the 3rd level university. So the populace is already quite unhappy. And if I continue to increase the level of Protestantism, we'll reach a religious unrest that will be come up to I think 15 points. So we can increase this by another 7 just by being here. So I have 3 priests, 1% per turn. Currently the population of Iraq, 42% are Protestants. So that's my idea of destabilizing the Ottomans. Also, I've decided to give the Ottomans a load of civic technologies, which also cause a lot of unrest. So that will hopefully cause some kind of revolution, or just the Ottoman Empire will break up entirely due to me turning all of their holdings into Protestants. So that's what's going on here. Besides that, the Ottomans have made no advances on me. I have been attacking their trade here to put that into my coffers. Currently, we're actually raiding quite a lot. We gain 9,000 here from protectorates, which I have none. So a lot of this, more or less all of it, actually comes from raided Ottoman trade, which is at this point 9,000 gold, which is quite wonderful. But we're gonna keep harassing the Ottomans in one way or another. But that's what's going on. Also, yes, I was able to sign a peace deal with with Savoy as well, which ended up with me paying them 80,000 gold. And also becoming allied with them. So that happened, even though I'm allied with them. I guess it was just in time that I did end the war with them, because these two Savoys, if that's how you say it, or Savoy fleets, turned up to start the Crimean War. They have 2 full stacks loaded, ready to unload on Crimea. Luckily though, we were able to avert disaster by signing that peace treaty. So that's happened. I think we've been through everything then. So the preparations for my war with the Prussians became a little bit different here, because the Prussians... Did I say this? Or did I start off? I've been talking so much about so many things that happened that I can't remember if I... But the Prussians anyways... The reason why the armies that were here are now here is because the Prussians asked for military access, and then they moved their armies down to Bohemia, and then they declared war on the Austrians. However, they never advanced on the Austrians. Instead, they waited around here until the military access ended, at which point their armies were moved up into Brandenburg. So that's why suddenly Brandenburg is heavily defended while Königsberg is undefended. So it's switched there. So let's go over the preparations then that I've made for this attack. So originally I had more troops stationed around Prussia and Königsberg in the east, because there was their armies. However, once they moved here, I moved more armies here. So what we have is Charles. No, it's to note here that I've changed his setup a little bit by switching out the Grenadiers, the named Grenadiers, the Freedom Regiment, and Lindström's Grenadiers to Line Grenadier Regiment Crown Prince. They have slightly less men, 12 less men in each company. However, they've got a lot better stats than before in terms of range, accuracy, and melee attacks and all that. Anyways, I believe that that's the case. I haven't actually checked. Melee attack is 9, while the Crown Prince has an attack of 12, and so on. So yes, I do think, in fact, they are quite a lot better. Perhaps they have a little bit lower in defense, and a little bit lower in, I think the charge bonus is slightly lower. But they make up for this with higher range. A little less ammo, I think. 10 ammo. They still have, yeah, they have 10 ammo. So Charles's army and then Lepenhaupt army stationed here, ready to take on the Prussians. Then we've got Assar Tengström, which has replaced Armström. Armfelt? Armström? Armfelt? It's sort of a... I sort of switch in between, trying to pronounce the Swedish names of the generals with sort of an English accent, or just saying them in Swedish. Assar Tengström has taken over for Armfelt, who died at the year of... He was like 80 or 82 or something like that when he died. So yeah, but he's now been replaced. It should be, I don't know if I said this, but it should be said that all this has transpired between the years 1740 and 1748, because that's how many turns I've done to get this ready, about 8 years then. And then I've taken 2 armies and moved them back to Sweden. So we've got Tolle, which is stationed here in the south of Sweden, ready to march over the ice and attack the Danish capital. And up here, just north of Gothenburg, in the artillery fort of Barsebäck, we've got Hagen with his army ready to move across into what the Danish have put all their armies, really, into the hard defense of Norway and the capital of Norway, Christiania, which we have right here. Right, I think we've gone through everything then. Currently, since upgrading a lot, since we have been at peace a longer time after Russia has been defeated and Ottoman incursions have been stopped, I've been able to put a lot of effort into upgrading ports and infrastructure and stuff like that. Roads have been built throughout the country, and tax income has increased with that. At the same time, we have a constant increase of trade as well. So at the current, I am making a total of 150,000, whereof which 100,000 goes to the upkeep of army, navy, and town watch, which leaves me with 53,000. So right now, what we're currently doing is we're building on the navy. Probably something I should have done earlier, but I do have a second fleet beside the one that is currently stationed in the Caribbean. We have this fleet down here as well, which is currently attacking Ottoman trade down here, and also one of those ships has been detached to sit right here to stop the Ottomans from crossing over. The Ottomans are in fact, they've got a new Sultan, Mahmud II, which is a lot better than their previous one, which only had 2 stars. This guy is a tactician, and he's got some other traits. They are rich and mighty, but I'm hoping I will be able to change that through strategies explained, attacking their trade and attacking the unity within their country. But what we're going to do today is we're going to attack the Prussians, and this might lead to a chain reaction where we also are drawn into war with the with Hanover and the Danish. The Danish we are not allied with, but we are allied with the Hanoverians. So we'll see what happens here. First things first is to go ahead and cancel the alliance, cancel the trade, and then we'll declare war. I will not be calling my allies. The main point of having allies has only just been to keep them from declaring war on me. So no point in getting that. Union terminated. Prussia and Denmark. Denmark does not side with the Prussians. Sweden and Hanover, so the Hanoverians might have joined. Trade agreement terminated with Hanover. Hanover joined the Prussians. However, the Danes do not. So we do have then the Hanoverians at war with us as well. Hanover, though, does not have a strong army, and I think they're going to be just sitting in their capital. Right. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and start in the east with Assar Tengström's first battle, as he takes on Königsberg, which is a very rich province, and I'm going to demand its surrender, and they agree. And this will go pretty darn well to hold down. Go ahead and build that up. I think this is probably better. I mean, the agriculture of this region is really high, even if, but I'm sure this building right here can actually be farmland, which I think is probably better than having this kiln, even though it provides wealth and per turn. I think it's probably better to have a farmland there, which provides happiness and other good bonuses like that. Also, the shipyard should probably be turned into a trade center instead. So that's the start there against the Prussians. The thing is, I think one mistake Prussia has done is, I'm pretty sure they've sent navy and armies to the Americas, but they haven't found a target to actually attack. So there's probably where the rest of the Prussian armies are. With that, Charles will go ahead and attack the farmland just outside Berlin, and we'll go ahead and have ourselves a fight. They are not joined by the defenders of the city, so we'll just have a straightforward fight. Leonard Lentz with 5,000, close to 6,000 men against Charles XII with 6,660 men. Let's go ahead then and have this fight against the Prussians. And here's our position. We start again quite close to the enemy. There's a lot of impassable terrain and stuff. I'm hoping then that perhaps we could get the enemy army trapped down here and destroy them. I've gone ahead and deployed Västgötadal on the left together with the Royal Horse of Regiments, which is Forcum. Or should be anyways. Perhaps I moved him somewhere. He should be there. He should be one of these. Yeah, there, in the center. When didn't I notice that? For the center, we've got the 2 units of veterans of past war, or the mobile task force. Followed then up by the new Crown Prince Grenadiers. We're looking at Lindströms there. They're followed up by the Guard Infantry. And then on the right here we also have some Swedish Line Infantry. And even further right we've got some Royal Line Infantry. 2 batteries over here. And then we've got all the Lifeguard regiments, which are then led by Henrik's Lions, which have been reformed. And with that, we'll start the battle, and couldn't have done it better if I deploy them. They're all down in the gully. Gonna go ahead and advance everyone here towards the enemy. Problem here though is there's so much impassable terrain literally everywhere that it's going to be hard to actually hit them. We got 2 bloody batteries for the King's Army now, or 4 batteries, but I've had to split them because of some impassable terrain here. Large amount of Prussians down here. A lot of them are moving back here, but at the same time a lot of them are moving forward to meet us here. I think what we'll do is we'll have the 2nd Battalion of the Mobile Task Force moved to that side, and then 1st Battalion moved here, and then we'll have the 2 Swedish Line Infantry trying to quickly move into positions here, with the Grenadiers stationed just behind. So we're splitting here the 1st and 2nd Battalion of the Mobile Task Force, because I was a little bit afraid that the Prussians might have gained. You know what, we want to keep the Prussians down there, don't we? Let's see about moving these 2 forces up, something like that, so they will be able to support each other. And then we'll have the 2 Crown Prince regiments moved forward. And then we'll see about getting to these 2 line infantries. One lining up just above here, and the other one down there. Now, Henrik's Lions moving in. There's a lot of Prussian cavalry there. Would be good if we could stop them from coming in and attacking my troops. Look at this. We are in good Grenadier range, and it looks like the 1st Battalion of the Mobile Task Force is about to fire, and they unleash a volley. At the same time, Henrik's Lions get attacked by Prussian Feldjäger. And there's lots of enemy cavalry coming in there. So there's lots of stuff happening at the same time. These regiments will be formed into line, hold fire, fall in on the enemy through the back. Crown Prince regiments are firing by platoon. I'm ordering them though to throw grenades down upon the enemy. Looks like the 1st Prussian here, 1st Prussian line infantry we came into contact with is forced away. However, there's a large amount of Prussians coming in this way, so we need to move forward Västgötadal to take them on, to make sure that the 1st and 2nd Battalion of the Mobile Task Force is not overrun. At the same time, I want to make sure that Henrik's Lions and the rest of the lifeguard cavalry does not get overrun. I think we push all of it in there and try and force them away that way. We're gonna leave 2 regiments as reserve. Actually, I do not need that. I have the lifeguard that I can move up. So let's move them up into play here. So not Hendrix Hines. Lindström's Grenadier firing by platoon down into the valley. We've got the 2 battalions of the mobile task force firing down on the Prussians as they're unable to properly set up, getting hit from multiple sides. Meanwhile, the troops that are supposed to attack the enemy, or us in that case, through the flank are now being beset by Västgötadal, and we're gonna set up the Forkums Germans to sweep through here and then go through, but I feel we need to weaken them a little bit with quite a few volleys. I think what we'll do is we'll put Lindström like that, and then we'll put the Freedom Regiment there. Let's go ahead and see. This cavalry fight is going nowhere fast. The enemy's cavalry holding on strong, continuously fighting here. The Prussians keep marching in to the volleys of the 2 battalions of Mobile Task Force. Västgötadal is exchanging volleys with the Prussian troops. And we see a Prussian exchanging fire with us. Go ahead and set the cavalry off here, attack them, destroy them, been able to turn this flank, and we're keeping the enemy stuck down there in their okay, they're not within grenade range, so we got a single regiment here that we're slowly trying to fight through. These Prussians have dismounted. Oh, there's a high concentration of Prussian troops here now. And they're just sending in horse grenadiers. Oh! Lindström came under direct attack by enemy fire, which I missed. And is now forced to flee. And the 2 battalions... Oh, I think they might have fired... The horse grenadiers fired on us, yes. I'm gonna put, let's see... Mac Rob's brigade right behind 2nd Battalion, and then we're gonna have Izzy's Fart be right behind 1st Battalion. They're gonna take over here as those battalions at this point are quite depleted. Meanwhile, Forkums Germans is gonna line up behind the Prussians and then move through to attack. Hendrix Lions finally being able to break down the elite German cavalry, Prussian cavalry, and allowing for the Royal Infantry regiments to get through. Mac Rob actually, on its own accord, went into kind of a melee fight. We're gonna withdraw the 1st Battalion of the Mobile Task Force. Oh, it looks like they forced away the Freedom Regiment as well. I guess I set them too far forward. I'm now... Oh, Lindström is actually back. And he's going to be moved up just to sit there. Izzy's Farts just opened up. Lots of Prussian troops are retreating here. Let's make sure that they do not get anywhere. Okay, 2nd Battalion can pull back and Mac Rob can take over. Västgötadal will attack across the field with the other 3 battalions moving through here. Mobile Task Force, hold your fire. Or actually you can set up here. Mac Rob is getting attacked by the Grenadier Guards. Our cavalry moved through there. We're gonna move through and attack their guns right there. Let's see about stopping more Prussians from leaving. It looks like it's all evolving now into a melee. Down here, we're gonna push in as many troops down there as possible to make sure that no Prussians leave this fight. There's all 4 units of Västgötadal being moved in against the Prussians. Here comes the 2nd Battalion of the Mobile Task Force. We've got Forkum's cavalry coming up through the rear here, ready to attack, and Henrik's Lions coming in, gonna attack through the back, and the Royal Infantry is gonna set up here to kind of just capture everyone that comes through. And it looks like it's a major rout for our enemies. They're generally stuck right in the middle of everything here. At the same time, this square is being beset by literally every unit of the King's Cavalry. 1st Battalion and Isis Farts, I believe, is taking out the 25th Regiment of the Prussian force. Very few Prussians remain, and what does remain of the Prussian force is looking around and realizing the game is up. Right, now it's just a big mess here. I'm gonna see about trying to organize these guys somewhat. And then, because everyone's kind of playing music at the same time, is this awful sort of cacophony of drums and mostly the flutes. The flutes are horrible. Those old-timey flutes sound so out of tune most of the time. Provincial line infantry. They wouldn't hold for long, would they? Ordering a barrage of cannon, and now the cavalry is just sweeping through, getting rid of Prince Maurice's troops being forced back. And I think we can quite fairly say that we have in fact achieved victory over the Prussian army in this first battle. As the result of the battle, as previously stated, we deployed about 6,500 men against 6,000 men. We ended up losing 1,500 men, of which only about 100 were friendly fire. The enemy deployed, as I said, 6,000 men, and they lost 5,300 men, leaving them with roughly 600 men left after the battle. Highest kills goes to one of the battalions of... This must be the second battalion of veterans of past war, or the mobile task force, killed the most, with the 1st battalion ending up in 4th place. Second place goes to one of the Västgötadal, and 3rd place, Royal Regiment of Horse, which I do believe is Forcum's cavalry. I believe. I think the what's it called? The Lion, Henrik's Lions, is called something else like Lifeguard Cavalry. And there we have that. And the king takes control of this farmland. Now, we could fight this army right here, but I'm inclined to actually use this, the newest army in my military force, which is commanded by Ernst Westermark, which is a newly recruited general, and he's in command of the foreigners, an army entirely recruited of foreign troops. So I had a request quite a few videos ago that said, you know, I want to see more regional troops in your armies, and at that time, unfortunately, I could not recruit them. Usually, I always try to, when I do Napoleonic, when playing with Napoleon or the French during Napoleonic Wars, I make the Saxon brigade, and I make the whatever other brigade I make, the Italian brigade, and so on, the Italian army or whatever. So I was a little bit displeased that I wasn't able to get any regional troops. Well, now I do get regional troops, and they're all placed in this army. And I think rather than spending more time in this video chatting on, which I've already done quite a bit, let's go ahead and instead attack the Prussian capital of Brandenburg and see what the foreigners can do. Right, let's go ahead and attack. The mortars are really inaccurate, and so it has taken quite the time to break down the wall. I figured that storming the wall wasn't an option because of the poor morale of my newly recruited army. So instead I've opted to destroy the wall. Now that has taken me 35 minutes, leaving me... Oh god damn it, they're sending out the cavalry, aren't they? Forming squares here to try and stop the enemy dragoons. For now it looks like there's only one unit, which is good. But there's plenty more. As you saw in the beginning, I have already shown you all the different brigades that are moving, or regiments that are moving forward. But just to show you where they are right now, we've got the Lithuanian line infantry together with the Saxon infantry that's going to attack the front. And then the side here is going to get attacked by the Venetian troops, backed up by the Austrian line infantry. And then the back is going to be attacked by the Austrian volunteer corps together with the Austrian borders. And then finally the left side is going to be attacked by the Polish-Lithuanian corps and the Polish line infantry. I've also portioned out the cavalry, so we've got the Wallachians on either side here, and then I've moved through the Hussars and the Mamluks, so they're situated back here. We're gonna see what happens here and where we're trying to attack. I'm probably gonna try and climb somewhere, because I want to open up one of the gates to let the cavalry in through another way, so we're not just trying to attack through one area here. And then we're going to try and keep the enemy occupied by showing force all around the castle. But we're going to try and force our way through here. Currently, I've ordered the howitzers, or my mortars, fire explosive shots into the castle. And it seems like they're firing in an area like that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it up and fire on the ground right here, and hoping to do quite a bit of damage on the cavalry. It's going to be down then to the Lithuanian and Saxon infantry to fight their way, or start the fight to get inside the gate here. As it took so long to get inside or break that down, we only have 23 minutes to win the battle. I'm going to order the Austrians to fire. Once they're fired, we're forming square. So it might be that we don't have time. It looks like sending the explosive shots into here seem to have worked. Right. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to be ready in time. I'm going to order you into square, but the second Saxon unit will be ready. And then the two Venetians should probably be moved closer in preparation of the next cavalry unit that's coming out. Given where the enemy is right now, with all their... they managed to hit the second Saxon unit, the one that wasn't in square, and they've broken it. Thing is, there's a risk if I open fire with the Lithuanian infantry. There's a risk there that I won't be getting the 2nd battalion of the Saxons out again, so I'm gonna order them to hold fire. It could be here that it might be useful. Oh, you broke due to... Oh, an explosive shot on my own landed. Shit! This entire side is broken apart, partly then due to one explosive shot that landed in the wrong area and took out a number of Is that the commander? No, the command... It would be funny if that took out the commander and that's why they run. I'm gonna try and... I'm gonna have to save them here, sending in the cavalry to deal with that. I knew there were gonna be... the troops were gonna break, because there's such a... there's such low morale now when they're newly recruited. While explosive shots clearly does a lot of damage to the enemy, it might be more useful to do round shot and try and break this part of the wall. Right, here comes the Hussars and the Mamluks. Gonna try and save the Austrian infantry. I don't think that's going to be the case because we've lost so many men out of that unit. The Venetians are back, but you just see the kind of how little really they need to for the units to break. Right, we managed to, let's see, have the Saxon unit has not rallied yet. It's not going to matter, but I'm going to move the general close anyways. Right, the Saxon unit will take a back seat then, as the Lithuanians will be moved forward to deal with the now Grenadier regiment that is coming out of the fort. I'm hoping that we can open up this wall and the two Venetians will be able to come in and fight. Right, the enemy is being forced away there as well, but that reduces the amount of power we have on this side. So 2 regiments unfortunately gone, and it looks like the Saxons are not going to come back. So we're going to have to deal with what we have. Sea wolves are coming out. I feel like there's less likelihood of us climbing here, and the best chance is going to be to get through here. So I'm going to order the Polish line infantry to come and join, so we can attack the sea wolves which are coming out here, and then the rest will be fighting here towards the center. The Hussars dealt with that unit, which is good, and then they can sit in the woods together with the Mamluks. I still want to see if I can open up somewhere, but I'm gonna have to draw more troops towards the front here. As 93%. If some of these actually were proper grenadiers, I could have blown that up that way. What do we have? 17 minutes left. I see a concentration around here for us to try and climb up, so I'm going to move forward Polish-Lithuanian Corps and the borderers. The Austrian borderers. The Austrian borderers have 50 in accuracy, so they're really good in that way. Let's see if we can tie up this unit right here by just shooting at it. Oh, you broke? Well, that's great. Hold your fire, there's nothing for you to fire at. 98%. Let's see if we can't move forward, take out the sea wolves. Just need a little bit so I can force my troops through, tie up enough of the enemy troops, and then capture the center. 16 minutes left. The grenadiers were shot to pieces. We're now shooting at the sea wolves. The enemy is moving troops over there, I think. Come on, 98. How have we not been able to hit? I have 4 batteries firing into this area. You know what? I noticed early when I clicked on it here that a lot of shots. I've been firing on the ground because I figured that first time when I attacked this wall right here, a lot of shots were landing just in front of it. So I figured, you know what, I probably should aim behind it and then shots will land here. I click on it once and I get the result that I want. God damn it. Alright, we're gonna move these troops up and start firing through here. We'll see about breaking some of these troops, hopefully. we should see about maybe sending some troops in. I'm gonna send in the Mamluks. We're gonna send Mamluks in through here, and we're gonna see what kind of damage we can do. I'm gonna order the battery then to fire here, and hopefully we can do quite a bit of damage here. You guys should hold fire. Oh, he's coming out through the wall. Oh, through the gates. That we need to move the troops to deal with. So Polish-Lithuanian Corps will be moved into action against those troops. I wonder then, the thing is my borderers, very high accuracy, but pretty low morale. If I can get them up on the wall and I can get them shooting, that would be pretty good. I'm gonna tell the Venetians to hold fire, and then they're gonna be ordered to advance together with the Austrian troops, while the Mamluks are gonna make the first attempt here of charging in through the wall. Okay, these guys are firing onto the provincial garrison, which has come out through the wall. We are now looking at 14 minutes. You know what? I don't have time to not climb. The Austrian Volunteer Corps should probably move up and try and attack these guys. Mamluks kind of got stuck, and I don't know what kind of damage they've been able to do here. We need to move a lot more against the enemy. I noticed that we've lost tons of men here out of the Lithuanian line infantry. Same here. God damn it. What is firing at us with such ferocity? I wonder. We're gonna have to move a lot of troops a lot more closer here to try and break the enemy. It could be that the troops down below here are actually firing on the guys on the wall and not firing on the troops below. And that is causing us to lose so many men, because they're not focusing on the unit that they should be focusing on. Okay, so we are climbing and we're getting attacked. The units here though were broken, so I'm gonna order more units to climb, and we're gonna see about we can force our way through that way, and then we're gonna have to send in more cavalry. We got two. We've got the Hussars could be moved in, and then we've got the Wallachian troops that can be moved forward. We've got Polish line infantry that has rallied. Oh, clearly it's mortar that has been part of this massacre that we can see right here. There, where we actually got the units firing at the right targets. The wall here is actually ready to be seized, so I should move to seize that. Now we have 11 minutes. I don't think we'll have time. At this point we're not gonna have time unless we force our way through. Two Venetian troops are gonna be ordered to bayonet charge the general. Gonna be followed by this regiment as well. We have a fight here. We're gonna order this unit to fight there. Oh, this was the one that was gonna climb. I'm gonna order troops in for bayonet charges. I'm just gonna need one of these. There goes the enemy general. You know what? If I can force the units in here and I can get one of them to get through and then towards the flag, perhaps have a chance. We have this part of the wall is now mine. That means that we can deploy units through here and get to the flag that way. And I'm ordering one unit through here to get through. We're winning here. My borderers are actually winning. And it's time to order the mortars to hold fire. Actually, fire explosive against that one. No! The units here were broken. Unfortunately. I have 2 units being able to move through, and then we have the one up there. And I have one here. Both of these, uncontested, can move towards the center. Okay, everyone broke there. Then I'll order the hussars to try and attack. They are... Some enemy unit is throwing grenades for sure. But I don't know which one. I'm sure there is a grenade unit, but... seems like silly grenade work. Doesn't seem like regular grenades. Right, we are attacking here, but the expectorate infantry is blocking our way. We'll pull away and try again. I've got the Polish-Lithuanian Corps being able to make its way through. The guys that went through, tried to go through the gate, got forced back by the sea wolves. Oh, there goes that building. The Polish-Lithuanian Corps is now being attacked by the general. I don't think my explosive shots are doing much good work. Probably hitting my own men. Right, let's try and hit that guy again. So much infantry is breaking here. Valachians, try and fight your way through. It's your time now to come through. It's time for the cavalry to strike. But you are finished with your fight. Try and get down there. That unit is our best chance. Everyone else has broken. Order you to fire at will as you withdraw. Right, we managed to get to the flag. There's 7 minutes left. Oh, my cavalry did it. I think they probably fired at them, and that's what kind of broke them. These units are with the Valachians coming through here. A lot of the enemy units are faltering. We have a single little grenadier up there. Right, light cavalry going through. Austrian borders are coming in to aid. We're going to be able to set up here, and the Polish-Lithuanian Corps has been able to more or less capture the flag. We're going to withdraw the cavalry. It's kind of a mess. I have a lot of units rallying, going to be pushed back towards the opening. We're looking at 6 minutes left. If anything goes wrong now, we do not have much of a chance. The Austrian borders has an accuracy of 51. So as they fire on this unit, wow, I thought we were gonna get a better result than that. The good thing here is that that unit actually followed the cavalry out. And when they're outside the fort, they can actually be broken. Unlike when they're inside. The battle took an hour, and eventually I was victorious, but it's barely, and it's through mischievous work as we were able to sneak in and take the flag. Rather than slaughtering the entire garrison. Oh, I see the borderers now are getting attacked through there. Eventually, I think I would have won it anyways, but doing it this way, I saved a lot of the foreign troop army, a lot of those men. And here's the result of the battle. I deployed 13,000 troops. That's not true, because it was only the army, only the foreign troops army that attacked. The Charles army did not ever, they didn't join the fight. So we probably deployed closer to what, 6,000-7,000 men, of which almost half died. 2,690 men lie dead after the battle. The enemy, though, 4,500, where of which 4,500 lay dead after the battle. Who killed what? Austrian borders killed the most. But I think that they might have actually killed the most through melee rather than shooting, even though that was really their specialty. The army, though, most of the units gain chevrons. Oh wait, I scrolled too far. But yeah, it still holds true. All units, except Saxon infantry and the Mamluks, and one of the Wallachian regiments. But otherwise, everyone got... Oh, they got to share the kills with the king's army as well. Oh. Anyways, the important bit here is that I was able to secure Berlin and Brandenburg, and in so doing I destroyed the Prussian state. The Prussians are very unhappy about this, and there surely will be a revolt against us. However, the revolts in this game are, or in this mod, I must say, quite pathetic. Wait, did it cost me how much? It cost me like 18,000 to replenish this army, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 18,000 to replenish this army. I got a nice modern university. Anyways, let's not linger here. This episode is as long as it is. Next time around, we'll be dealing with the Hanoverians, which has nothing, so most likely we're going to be focusing on the Danish instead. And I also want to fight the pirates, the navy, and while that is happening, hopefully I continue to destabilize the Ottomans, and hopefully their empire will collapse from within. And on that note, I will leave you guys with what I always say. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.